circus kind of feeds into our superhero thing.
Yeah.
And I've got to say, look, as a guy who spent a year traveling with a carnival that had occasionally a circus attached when I was very young. Now, Mom was working for them, but I traveled, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. And I've got to say, it's a unique life. It's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
But boy, it's kind of dangerous. But if you want something fun, if you're ever at a carnival and you hear someone on the midway yell, "Hey, Rube," run. Run to where that is. But don't get in the middle of it. Stay off to the side. Because that is a carny that is calling his friends to say there is a problem. And you're about to see somebody probably get beaten 6 ways to Sunday.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's kind of... They have to kind of provide their own security there.
I don't think I want to watch that.
And then we're going to go to Uri Geller. Now, he is a Shaolin monk, and like the Buddhist monk, they do all sorts of training. Uri Geller, Shaolin monk, and like the Buddhist monk, they do all kinds of training.
Yes, all the training.
All the training.
Mm.
Right.
Hugh has taken a drill to not only his chest, but his neck, and cannot drill through his own flesh.
So he has really hard skin.
He can harden certain portions of his skin to resist the effects of a drill bit. He actually placed a spear at his throat and charged so that the spear hit a wall, which should have sent it plunging through his throat. He didn't suffer a single injury.
He didn't get a scratch?
Didn't get a scratch.
Came out of it without a scratch. That's impressive. So does he get to be on the team?
Of course. You know.
Well, I mean, yeah, if you can...
If you can shove that. You're
shove
a
drill through your throat without it going through your throat.
That's surprising.
Yeah, well, you know, that's definitely team-worthy. I kind of like your team. Do they get to have uniforms?
Uniforms?
Unicorns would be cool, too.
If they want them, I guess.
They're gonna make uniforms!
Then there is Aaron the Spring Evans. Also featured on Superhumans, he could leap over cars going as fast as 30 miles an hour.
Nice, I think.
This is a circus trick. It's just done in a non-circus way. I'm moving on.
Oh,
I'm not really impressed with this.
Okay, so why'd you include it?
Because he was on Superhumans, and
okay,
and that's
So that's where we're kind of delineating.
We took, with the exception of Uri Geller, we took all the people that appeared on Superhumans minus one, and we're talking about them. But I really could have added a lot more to this list, and we may revisit this topic with different people.
Nothing wrong with it, I suppose.
Then finally, we're going to end with Mac Uri, who was able to break 3 baseball bats together with his shins alone. He's a martial artist who's trained in over 30 styles.
Wow.
So again, martial arts, kind of like monk training, is a common thing in the comics. Yeah, even Batman trained in the martial arts. In fact, multiple kinds.
Yeah, I mean, you know, there's cool martial artists out there for sure.
So what have we learned? We have learned that the human body is capable of amazing things.
Well,
no mutation necessary.
We knew that already. Look at Crystalline.
Well, yeah, but, I mean, no mutation necessary. If Uri Geller can put a drill against his neck and push the trigger and it doesn't go in, that says something about what the human body is capable of.
Well, sure.
Yeah.
If Wim Hof can go down in an ice hole sit underwater in a frozen lake and just sit there?
And not feel a thing?
It says some things about what the human body is capable of.
Mm-hmm.
So, superheroes. I guess you could say, in a way, we all have that power within us. Now, we're not going to be flying around shooting energy visions and, kind of superheroes. But there's definitely a way to build up the body to handle these sorts of things.
Well, that's definitely something to keep in mind.
And I like the feeling of saying the superhero lives in all of us in one form or another.
Absolutely.
And to release it only requires us to train it. We are all our own Batmans, just waiting to become.
There you go. I like it. That's a great note to end up on.
I like that too.
So, any thoughts from the two of you about what we've talked about today?
Well, a few of them I think were a bit skeptical, but like the thing where one of them could like put a drill through their throat without it going in. That I'm totally
impressed?
Cool. Yeah, I'm impressed.
She's so impressed she's speechless, which is saying something for our crystalline.
I'm normally not speechless.
Definitely.
None of us are. It's why we do a podcast together.
Exactly.
But like that's awesome, especially with the being like mostly see, I can't even use my words right now.
Boy, she really is speechless.
Being mostly immune to going like being in a cold room or something like that's also cool. But some of them I was a little bit iffy about, like what was that one guy who could bend a spoon with his
Uri Geller.
mind?
Yeah, they could bend the spoons with his mind. Uri Geller.
Yeah, I'm a bit iffy about that, because he asked for something to be done with him before he did that, and last time when the other guy did it his own way, it didn't work, so I'm not trying to call you out, man. Just saying. I'm skeptical.
Sure. I don't blame you.
I'd have to watch it on my own to see if I actually believe it, but for right now, I'm a little bit skeptical.
I'll tell you what that reminds me of. There is a wrestler named, give me a minute, Mark Henry.
Mm-hmm.
Mark Henry also used to be a weightlifter, a power lifter. Mm-hmm. Big guy. And for a while, his gimmick in the WWE was bending pans. Like frying pans, he'd get them and he'd just roll them in and just roll them up. He'd bend them.
Mm-hmm.
And it's because of how they were made he was able to do that. Now, because Vince McMahon is a kidder and loves a joke, he got a pan that was made a slightly different way, that was supposed to be impossible to bend.
Mm-hmm.
And he replaced the pan that Mark Henry was going to use with this other pan. And so Mark goes trying to roll it like he's been doing on camera, and it won't bend. It won't. And so what's he do? He just redoubles his effort, and he starts bending the pan. And after that was done, and he's walking back, and he's mad, right? He's angry because somebody put the wrong pan there. And Vince McMahon comes up to him and says, first of all, don't ever get mad at anybody in this business ever. And second, that was the most amazing thing I've ever seen. But the point I'm making is that it's that same kind of thing. He was able to roll pans and make it look easy because of the way they were built. When he got one that was made differently, he had a much harder time with it. And while he wasn't able to bend it as much, he was able to just have sheer willpower and strength, which tells you how strong he is. But neither here nor there.
let me guess, he was told not to ever get angry at anybody in this business because he could possibly break a neck.
He could hurt them, yes. If he can bend pants not made to be bent, yes, he can. So,
I mean, I could probably bend it by just throwing it on the floor enough, but it really depends.
Well, the point is that it's the same kind of thing. If you can prevent somebody from doing it just by buying a different pan, that's not a superpower. It's a trick.
Right.
Is what it is. Now, when given that same situation, Mark Henry still bent the pan, thus proving for him at the time it was a superpower. He was just that strong.
Right.
For Uri, not so much.
Not so much, yeah.
You
want to weigh in on the summation over here, baby?
No, I mean, I think you guys are actually saying it all. I come back to that whole, I feel like everyone has a superhero inside them if they want to.
Right,
like our little crystalline sticking up for the poor circus animals that were mistreated for so long and you know.
Circus animals, see, here's the thing. Animals are sort of like humans in the fact that they have feelings too, and you cannot hurt them in it.
Look at her being a superhero right now. I'm saying, y'all.
And if you treat any animals like that, you are now known to be not a good person for not taking care of them correctly or keeping them in an environment that they should not be in. Just like when people keep, animals that aren't supposed to be in your house in their house, you're basically trapping it in an area that it doesn't want to be in, and that's just not okay. But if you're in a state and you can train one, you can keep an animal like that. That's cool.
So would that be like having a rabbit that wants apple slices that you don't give apple slices to?
He's talking to me about this whole apple slices and rabbit thing. Yeah, my Noelle, she's been eating a lot of apples recently. And, my dad keeps saying she wants apple slices. I can't give her apple slices all the time. There's limit to this.
She wants bananas all the time, but you won't do that either.
We don't have bananas half the time.
She likes bananas.
So she eats daisies, and not daisies, but
dandelions.
Dandelions more than she does bananas. I think she really likes dandelions.
So that is our show at this point. We end on this. Are superhumans possible? Yeah.
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 Yeah, definitely.
But it seems to be, by and large, something you have to train for, not something that just you wake up and you have.
Right.
Or if you do, you're paying for that somehow physically, whether it's a disease or a balance in you're autistic, or there is usually a cost to that.
Mm-hmm.
So superhumans seem to be a thing.
So, for example, in some things that we are good at, we have to do things, and sometimes we have to pay for that by something else in our bodies going off, it's like a reaction. It's like a chemical reaction to something. Like, you do something, something else happens, but it also affects what happens around it.
Right.
That's sort of what I was trying to explain. What do you think, Mom?
Yeah, I think that's right. Of course, I always think you're brilliant, so there's...
I'm brilliant, but I have things that also make me... that also hurts me.
Do you have a sum up, my love?
I was in the middle of it, and basically...
Oh, sorry.
It's okay.
I
think that superhumans are possible. that you can become whatever you want if you're willing to put the training in.
Right.
However,